Hey, good morning. Good morning. We got a good show for you guys today. It's Saturday. It's a couple days from Christmas. Life is great, and if I complain, I'd just be really lying, and you don't want to hear that because there's really no reason to complain. You can find something, but at the end of the day, do you really want to be that guy? So let's shout everybody out. We got John LaJoy, great friend, really great guy. He's got a cool channel too. Please go check it out. We got Miss Dawn Dotson, and she is a very lovely lady, great lady, great friend. She has a great family as well, very passionate about the football team that we all love, the San Francisco 49ers. And with that, that's just awesome. And now we have one of the most inspirational, maybe not the right word, but let's say it. He is very talented. He has the energy. He has the chords. He has the fingers. And we'll just say it like that. We have Mr. Tommy Huxley, the camel with two humps. So sometimes you might see like the emoji, the squirrel emoji, the goat emoji. People put out emojis for different fun things, right? Well, when you see Tommy, throw the camel out. Tell him hi. We got Carcast coming in. Carcast is a great guy as well. He's got a really cool channel. He is up and coming, does a lot of breakdowns. He goes in depth detail with players, personnel, a lot of good information, stuff that you really want to know a little bit more insight. Check out Carcast. All right. So come on, I'm not that talented. Oh man, Tommy's too nice. And yes, Tommy is definitely talented. And yes, I appreciate every one of you guys for coming here. So today, let's talk a little bit about, everything, right? But let's get into it. And as we have a couple more people jump in, and you know what? I have a couple people in the chat that might want to hop in. So let's go ahead and just drop that link. We'll bring you in. We'll talk. We'll have a good little show. Last night, we had a really fun show on Mr. McNiner's channel. Please check him out. Please tell a friend, let's get David up there. And David really put in a lot of work this whole week. It's been a really stressful. Anytime the holidays come around, it just seems to be that way, right? So David, shout out to David, put in almost 80 hours. It was like 79 hours of work hours. And then he's solid dude, jumps up in the morning, jumps up and says, I'll host the show last night. And we had a good turnout, really good turnout. Shout out to Ty Austin. Really, really good guy. If you get a chance to meet Ty Austin is a real one. I can't really say it any other. Straight, faithful, true friend, true guy. Yeah, really, really good guy. We got one of our favorite Eagles. Yes, I said it. Our favorite little Eagle, Philly Special Cards. He has a show channel, and he'll be doing more and more content. So keep an eye out for that. And let's go. And yeah, we just got everybody saying hi in the chat. We appreciate it. Now, let's see if I can drop this. If anybody would like to jump in, you can jump in, and we'll have a peaceful conversation. And we're going to talk about just about anything that we can think of. But my main topic is the upcoming matchup against the Ravens. And if you guys have done any homework, we are 5-2 against the Ravens. 5-2. That's not doing good at all. So we are going to go ahead and bring in our first guest. I believe this is our little buddy, our good friend, Mr. Spongy.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, Mr. Spongy. I appreciate you for coming. So before we jump into this epic matchup, the matchup of the probably year, besides your game with us, I would say this is probably the next most anticipated game of the year. This game probably will decide the outcome of the season, right? Either team has the possibility of securing the number one seed, getting the number one bye, and really just almost getting a ticket to the Super Bowl. So before we go on too much longer, we're going to bring in my great co-host, my great friend. You can almost call him Batman or Robin, Mr. David McNiner. Good morning. And shout out to Eric Eric Wallace in the chat. Good morning, Eric. He is another great guy. We really appreciate him coming through, and he is one of those guys. He is a Seahawk fan, but he's a polite Seahawk fan, and that's all you can really ask for at the end of the day, right? And speaking, you say his name, and here he is. It's Mr. Eric Wallace. Good morning, Eric.
Morning. How's it been doing?
Hey, top of the morning. Happy holidays. Hope everything's going good for you in your neck of the woods. So, all right, we are going to move on a little bit, and we are going to segue. I made this cool little overlay, and we'll drop it right now. So everybody, you will see our faces in a few minutes, but you're going to hear our voices. So don't get scared. Don't go away. Smash the like if you haven't. All right, so this is the 49ers and the Ravens. This is all the games we've ever played. This is all the games that we have. And let me pause for a second. I'm going to bring in our good buddy, Teradome. Hey, Teradome.
Hey, am I in?
You are in. You just have to overlay. Let's see. I'll take the overlay off for a second. Everybody can see our face. All right. So we are getting a packed house, of course.
Packing out the house.
That's it. We got Carcast in the channel, in the building. Thank you for coming. So I would like to get all of you guys' thoughts and insight. We're going to put this overlay on. We won't be looking at each other for a little bit, but we're going to be talking about these games. We'll start from the beginning. If anybody remembers anything from these games and they have any insight, they want to drop a cool little note, let's go. All right. Here we go, folks. Okay, wow. So the Niners are 5-2. 5-2 against the Ravens. All the green are wins for the Ravens. All the red are losses for the Niners. Starting back
indeed.
1996. That's our first matchup. If people don't know, Baltimore wasn't a team. They weren't a team. They are sort of an expansion team in a sense, because Baltimore used to be in Cleveland. Baltimore moved from Cleveland, took their Browns team, threw it to the side, moved to Baltimore, and become the Ravens. And it's cool, changing your name to the Ravens and leaving the Browns in Cleveland. That it's really, really upsetting for fans when teams move. And they move and they take their colors, they take their uniforms, they take their best friends, their heroes. And at one point, it's like, who are we rooting for? Who are we anymore, right? Well, the city of Cleveland, you could say they threw a fit. They did what they could, right? And they were able to retain the Cleveland Browns. They were able to retain the Cleveland Browns history and the Cleveland Browns as a whole. So in 1996, there were no Cleveland Browns, and I don't think the Cleveland Browns played again until 1999, if I'm correct. I might be wrong on that. It might be 98. But they took a year. They took a year off or so, and they came back, and they, in a way, become the expansion team. But because Baltimore left Cleveland and left the Browns name, they, in a sense, become the expansion team, even though they were the already established franchise. Cleveland comes in I believe, again, 1999, and they start playing football again, and it's literally just rebuild. And if you notice, the Cleveland Browns have not had a stable quarterback since what, Bernie Kosar? And that's back in the 80s. So we're gonna go ahead and go through this, and I'm gonna break it. We're gonna go slow, and we'll all talk about it, but I want to run through the dates. In 11/17/96, 11/30/2003, 10/07/2007, 11/24/2011, the Super Bowl, 10/18/2015, 12/01/2019. So if you're looking at this is almost like this is really a blueprint to tell you that the Niners are not going to be playing the Ravens in the beginning of the year. They don't. They haven't in their history. And then if you look at the scores here, 20-38. The Niners blew out they just blew the doors, the wings, the feathers, whatever you want to say, off the Ravens.
Feathers.
Then, yeah, right. So then the next matchup from 96 to 2003, quite a big jump.
Some weeks is kind of, for some weeks
quite
I'm not hearing very well today, so everybody have a good day, okay?
Okay, Eric. So for in 2003, the last time we played was in 96. That's a long time. In that game, the Niners put 2 field goals up, and if anybody remembers the 2003 season, that wasn't the worst year, and that wasn't the best either. That could have been a lot better of a season. But the Ravens put 44 points up. 44 points. They blew our feathers off if we had any, right? We move on the next year, 2007, 9-7. Now it's a little bit more respectable. It's a loss, but it's respectable, right? We move on again, and that's 9-7. That's within a touchdown. That's a field goal. We could win the game, right? The next year, 2011, 6-16. That's 10 points. That's respectable, right? We can. In 2011, we were a good team in 2011, right? That was John Harbaugh. That was we're going to the Super Bowl if we didn't, fumble twice. In 2013, we make it to the Super Bowl, and it was a lopsided game at one point, and it got corrected, and it looked like we were going to clear the storm. 34-31. That's a field goal. In 2015, 20-25. That's a touchdown. 2019, 49-17, Ravens 20. That's a field goal. And what my points are, and I'm going to give it to you guys as well. We'll keep the overlay on so we can refresh if we need to. My point is the Niners and the Ravens don't typically blow each other out. It looks like it's only happened twice. And it looks like it happened the first 2 meetings. The Niners did it the first game, our first time when we had hosted, and then when we go to Baltimore, they repaid us. They really repaid us. So if history is going to repeat itself, we could throw out scores, we can have fun with it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't look like it's going to be a super overwhelming blowout for either team, and it looks like it's going to be very close. It looks like it's going to be very close.
Oh no, we said that about the Eagles game, and that didn't happen.
No, you guys didn't come to play.
Yeah.
The Ravens have the number 1 defense right now, and they are playing really good. Their offense isn't playing as good as their defense is, but their defense doesn't have to go up against our defense. Their defense has to go up against our offense. So that's it. And our defense so it's almost, in a way, it might be balanced there. It really, truly might be. If their offense is doing good and we'll just leave it like that. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that much of a offside either way. When you play in the number 1 defense, and the Niners are ranked number 3 defense, and our offense could be ranked the number 1, the number 3 defense currently, and offense. The Ravens offense, I want to say they're at least top 5. I just trying to throw it out of the top of my head. But let's go ahead and give it to Mr. Carcass. Your thoughts. If history is going to repeat itself, you looking at these scores, these dates, how are you feeling? Are you confident going into Christmas?
Yeah, we're obviously it's always going to be a close game against these Ravens. You want the rematch from what happened, from before. But I definitely think it's going to be a dogfight, for sure. It's going to be a tough test. I think this is going to be it's going to be our first major test this season. I thought it was the Eagles, but if the Ravens come to play, man, this is not going to be an easy one to squeak by. It's definitely it's going to come down to the trenches. It's going to be a defensive battle, but I think there's going to be points put up, but don't be surprised if there's a lot of turnovers. Don't be surprised if there's a scoop and score. Like, things could happen, especially in like these two they're tough. It comes like it really comes down to, who wins in line of scrimmage, who's a more physical team, and it's going to be a dogfight for sure. But that's my thoughts on the game.
Awesome. I think that's going to be everybody's general's thoughts. But again, we'll go around the horn, and it appears like it's going to be a dogfight, and not one of those dogfights where it's like a little chihuahua coming out. This is a couple big dogs. All right, we're going to give it to Mr. Terradome. Terradome, let's throw a different question. You have any game from 96 to 2019 that you would like to highlight or give us any analyst on. You can even talk about the Super Bowl. Any game here on this list that you can recall that you want to give us a memorable highlight, and your thoughts.
Well, the memorable highlight for me was that 12-1 2019. I took the family up to Baltimore. We had a really, really wonderful time. The crab cakes are excellent. It's right there by the harbor. You can practically walk to the stadium. It used to be psi.net. It's something else now. I can't quite recall. That's how my memory goes back. It's a beautiful stadium to look at when you're driving by. And it was just a dreary Baltimore cold day, rainy. And I know Debo went deep early. And I thought we had him reeling a little bit until a little guy named Lamar showed up. And for those of y'all going to the game, he's quicker than it looks on TV. He's moving at a different clip. You'll think it might be a 3rd and 7, and he will skate out, hit that B gap, and run. And it looks quick. It looks like he's going to be short because it was a short amount of time, but the announcer's going to say it's a first down, and you look and the sticks move. He just moves quicker than you think. And there was a commentator that got in a little bit of trouble. One of our main guys, Ryan, I think his name was, who said, when he does the fake with the ball, the color of his skin looks like the ball, so you can get a little confused. And he caught some flack for it, but my wife had said the same thing when we were there, and it was rainy, and she said they can't tell where the ball is because it looks like his arm, and it does get a brown football looks a lot like his arm, and he was virtually a magician in that thing. And we were in that tipping what's what they say, nip and tuck for the entire game, and it ended on a field goal from, I don't know if Justin Tucker was there yet, but I remember it was just 3 points at the end. And, the fans, we just sensed right there in the midst of that Baltimore rain that, we'll see you guys in Miami. It'll be a little bit different, or we can't wait to meet up in Miami. And I said, whoever's going to win in Miami, drinks are on me or drinks are going to be on you. And I think they lost in the playoffs that first round. Tennessee got hold of them. It was a home game for them as well. And it didn't quite materialize, but it was a good, hard-fought game. Jimmy G was okay. I think he may have thrown a pick, but I feel a lot better now and a little bit more confident with number 13 back there than I did with number 10. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's really well said. It really truly is. I'm gonna say hi to Raven real quick. Levi's on the show. We got him muted for a second. He had a little background noise. We're gonna we're gonna ask him the question here here really shortly. We're gonna go to David McNiner. If you're ready, Mr. McNiner, is there a game here that you want to highlight? Is there one that sticks back in the back of your memory that you're like, oh yeah, I remember that game. That guy, yep, he ran it in at the end. That cost us the game. Or oh man, that damn kicker.
The damn kicker. At this point, I
What about
keep
that?
looking back to like the 44-6 game in 2003.
Yeah.
You know, that was that it's like, where did that even come from? You know, their team, they did have a good defense,
Yes.
but you know, at that point we didn't, and we just got destroyed. You know, that was absolutely ridiculous. But
And with that game,
that's also
in
ahead.
that game in 2003, that would be 2000 was their Super Bowl year, so they don't have Trent Dilfer, and if I'm correct, they would have been rocking with Kyle Bowler as their quarterback. So for Kyle, if I'm correct, if anybody in the chat wants to look it up, in 2003 was Kyler Bowler the Ravens quarterback? I believe I'm right. He was not the guy to put 44 points up on anybody. He could throw the ball deep, and I think that's the only reason they drafted him.
Fun fact, that old 2000s Ravens defense actually used to have bets with the offense on who could score more points in the game. And there are a few rarities where the defense actually scored more points than the offense with that old 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense.
Levi, do you recall who was the quarterback in 2003? Was it Kyle Bowler?
I really thought on that Super Bowl run. Oh wait, you said, I'm sorry, what year? 2000?
2003.
Yeah, 2000.
I really,
2003
yeah,
would be.
I really thought our Super Bowl run we still had Trent Dilfer. I think it was the following years we brought in Kyle Bowler. I could be mistaken on that, or no, it went Steve McNair after that, if I'm not mistaken.
After
we
Bowler.
brought him in.
After Bowler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
But I think Bowler was post Super Bowl. I think that was Trent Dilfer's Super Bowl team, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so since I got you right now, we're gonna go ahead and ask you: is there a memorable game that you want to highlight, and then we'll give it to Sponge, and we'll take the overlay off. But out of these games, these 7 highly contested, highly anticipated, you could call them the games of the year. Which one would you like to point out and talk about?
Oh, out of the ones you have up here on the screen, I don't know, man. For me, the Super Bowl has a special place in my heart. But if I could actually put one that's not up here, and that's going to be the Ravens versus the Broncos with Peyton Manning, the Mile High Miracle. You know, I was live with my friends back in the day up in Ohio during that game, and just, I mean, you have to honestly be, for Raven fans, that entire playoff run was magical. But we had a good fun talk about that last night when Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I'm still stinging over that. What was it? A deer antler and an elk horn? I don't know.
The velvet of a deer antler.
Deer antler powder.
Whenever they go through like shedding their antlers, they get this like fuzz, velvety material on it, and supposedly that has amazing restorative properties.
Yeah.
Hey, it's amazing that, you know, magnificent, you know, nature, science, you know, God, everything. It really truly is how men and women, how society has just really just found different unique ways to use our resources to, you know, combat our injuries or make us feel better, and, you know, vice versa. All right, so I'm gonna take the overlay off, but Sponge, if you can quickly glance at any of these, is there a game? What's a game that you would like to talk about? You know, again, it's a Raven and Niner matchup, but maybe the 2019, or I'm not sure how old you are if you recall the 2015 game, but is there a game here that you would like to talk about?
I don't really recall any of them, but I just got to say this about the game. Bryant will appreciate this. It's going to go down to the kickers. And it's going to be who has the better kicker. That's who's going to win the game.
Ooh. Justin Tucker actually having one of his worst years kicking.
Really?
Honestly, when I was doing my Pro Bowl voting, guys, it was hard to put Tucker in there, to be honest with you. Like, Raven fans might hate me for that.
I
People
still
just
think he's gonna make
he's
it.
got a leg.
He's
Maybe
actually
him.
only like 1 of 8 from 50 yards so far this season. 1 of 6, something like that. His deep ball is kind of not there this year. Well, you got guys like hitting 60-yarders like Jake Elliott and the
Kickers are
Cowboys
different
kicker.
this year. Kickers are different this year.
I got something to show y'all here. So I showed y'all last night a little bit, like we got a rock climbing wall and stuff here in our complex. This is our golf simulator.
Oh man.
So you can go over here, set up your course and everything. Come over here to the golf simulator. Work on your driving game. We got the little putting course back here in our complex. It gets crazier though. Check this out, guys. Hold on. So you got to go walk over here to the other side of the lobby.
Virtual tour.
We have our own little bowling center.
Oh, look at that. That
Here we
bowling
go.
can get competitive. I like the wall
Yep, you
too.
got-
Is that, what kind of is that wallpaper? Is that like a simulated turf?
Simulated like 4-leaf clover turf, basically. But yeah, you got your own little bowling alley set up here. The Legacy Gateway Bowling Alley.
Nice.
This is all in our clubhouse, basically. There's a 4-story balcony too that overlooks the sunset. And of course, you know, it wouldn't be complete. You got your bar set up here, pool tables, shuffleboard, all that good stuff. Like we love our complex here.
That is nice. Point of order, real
jealous.
quick, Brian. Real quick, Brian. It was it looks like looking back at the numbers, it was Anthony Wright playing quarterback for him, and we had Jeff Garcia that day back in 03.
Oh wow. Who was the quarterback for the Winds?
Anthony Wright. I keep
Anthony
seeing Anthony Wright pass complete to Terry Jones. Anthony Wright pass complete to Alan Ricard. And some oldies but goodies. Tim Rattay played a little bit, as well as I think Jeff Garcia started, but he might have dropped off in the fourth quarter, and they put in good old Tim Rattay. Pass complete to
You know
Terrell Owens, 6 yards.
You know why? Because
Isn't Jeff Garcia's son in college?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of guys coming up that, like, I'm telling you, we're all gonna feel old here soon. Like,
Yeah.
there's 3 guys that are coming up soon, not including Manning's kid that are coming up into the NFL soon. 2 quarterbacks and I think a wide receiver.
Well, we got Brandon Rice, son of Jerry
Brandon
Rice,
Rice,
and,
he's gonna be
and
a
Frank
beast.
Gore Jr. So, yeah,
And Jeremiah Trotter.
we're feeling it.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is also there. A lot of these guys are gonna be good.
So that
they're not gonna be like
2003,
their dads, but
Found it, by the way. Hold on. So coming up into the NFL this year, you've got Owen McCall, so Josh McCown's son, UTSA starting quarterback. You've got Cole Pennington, son of Chad Pennington. He's the Marshall starting quarterback. And then Devin Hester Jr., Devin Hester's son, is a wide receiver at Athens, Georgia this year. So
Damn.
they're all coming up, guys.
Yeah.
so
Feel that age.
that 2003 year was a crucial year for the 49ers. We had a lot of turmoil that was happening in the locker room. We had a coaching decision that was being made. We had it was not that moment. We were definitely approaching the dark days. So Tim Rattay probably took over for Jeff Garcia due to his play and maybe due to T.O.'s voice on the sidelines, because T.O., Mr. Owens, was pushing
Very
for Mr.
adamant. Yes, sir.
Anybody bonus points? What number did Tim Rattay wear? Nathan Z, I know you're there. Nathan Z owns the jersey. Shout out Nathan Z.
I can't remember Tim Rattay.
It's the most popular number in 49ers quarterback history.
No. He didn't wear.
Boom!
Tim Rattay, what, 13?
13.
Wow.
Shout out to Steve-O as well. Steve-O got a bonus point. Yeah. Number 13's been worn by more than any other 49er quarterback.
Wow.
Yep.
What about Drunken Miller? What did Drunken Miller wear?
Oh,
Ooh.
did Drunken Miller
Wait.
wear? Did he wear 13? No, Drunken. Yeah,
Didn't
Drunken
he wear
Miller
like 14?
He might have wore 14.
He might have wore 14. Yeah.
I mean, it was he really wasn't with us long, and
Yeah, he came from UVA, so I gotta, and I remember Drunken Miller. I remember dang, who was I thinking about? Sean Hill. I think Sean Hill wore 14.
Sean Hill wore 13.
Sean Hill wore 13 too?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Who wore
So next
13?
quarterback you gotta get. He has
Drunken Miller was 14. He was 14.
Drunken Miller was 14.
Okay, I had him reversed. All right.
Yeah. I love the quarterbacks. I love the quarterback numbers and stuff.
What
But you
about
love your-
Karmazi?
but you
You
love your
guys
kickers,
remember
yeah.
Karmazi?
Yes.
Oh,
Bonus
screw that.
point.
Oh, don't bring that. No. Oh, don't talk
Bonus
about
point.
it.
Anybody-
Oh,
Anybody? What number did Kermazi wear?
he wore
13.
14.
Nope.
13.
Nope.
Giovanni, I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
15.
Wasn't it 19?
Uh,
19?
It's just
18?
such a bad decision. I don't even want to think about it, man. We could have had Tom Brady, y'all. We got Giovanni Carmazzi in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He got scared. He got scared against the Patriots. That was the game. They
ironically, yeah, it was the Hall of Fame game, and ironically, he was playing a young quarterback named Tom Brady who got picked 6. And
Yeah.
we had the guy on the field, but he was playing in the wrong colors. I'll
Yep.
never forget that. Giovanni
He was-
Carmazzi. Great pick there. Who was that? Dang, Mariucci and who else was here? The coach that's in Dallas now.
Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy. Yeah. Terrible
That was-
pick.
That was a bad decision. It sure was. Oh, here it is. I found it.
I
found it,
honestly
folks.
think Drunken Miller was a horrible decision too, though. You know,
Well, he wasn't a first round, or I mean,
he
was.
was.
He was
He
a
was,
first
wasn't he?
rounder. No, really.
I
Ooh.
thought he was. Well, no, I'm gonna have to look this up now. 'Cause, I swear we got him in the late first round because back then that's all we had, right? Late first rounders.
Dang.
All right, folks. We'll do this again. We always have fun, but this is our quarterbacks from the start. Frankie Albert, Y.A. Tittle, John Brody, Lamar McCann,
26
Steve-
overall.
Tom Owen, Norm Snead, Norm. Then we have Jim Plunkett, Steve DeBerg, Joe
Yeah.
Montana, Steve Young. These are only the starters. Jeff Garcia,
Okay.
Tim Rattay, Alex Smith, Sean Hill.
Mm.
Then we go.
Brock
This is starters. Then we go Alex Smith again, Colin Kaepernick, Jimmy Garoppolo. That's where we're at. You guys know the rest from there. So those are our quarterbacks, and we've had a lot of quarterbacks, but we seem to run through quarterbacks. We're not sticking with one. It's not by choice, but our quarterbacks.
Yeah. We try them out, man.
Our
It doesn't work. Go on.
Even
No,
Hall of Fame
Tommy-
quarterbacks.
Tommy's telling us that it's Drunken Miller, not Drunken Miller, but I call him Drunken
was.
Miller for a reason, Tommy.
Turducken.
I love him. I'm funny, bro.
It was something, and it is Drucken Miller. Drucken.
It is Drunken Miller, but I call him Drunken Miller because
Yeah,
the way he played, he had to be drunk. You know,
I seem to remember another quarterback in there somewhere. It's not hitting me right now, but somebody else is in there.
Well,
Uh,
those are our primary starters. For the significant amount of time. We did have people like Trent Dilfer start for a little while. We had Alex. What was it? It wasn't Alex Smith. It was Troy Smith. We
Troy
had,
Smith. That's what I remember. Yeah.
Troy Smith and
Yeah.
Alex Smith in the 2010 season between Mike Singletary. If Mike Singletary would have been able to retain his job, I don't think Alex Smith would have been on the team the next year. I think Alex had burnt his bridge with Mr. Singletary.
I thought at one time our tight end did, big Vernon Davis. Remember, he kicked him off the field and told him, go in the locker room then. Yeah.
Yeah. Told him, go cut your hair. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Yeah, Mike is old, man. He ain't having it. He ain't having it.
Yeah, oh man, a lot of passion in that man. But why? And like, really, do we need to know?
Get the offense together. They couldn't get the plays in, and he just chose. Sometimes, man, these guys choose the wrong offensive coordinator. And
what, Giro?
Coach, that's very, very, very important, man. If you don't get that offensive coordinator right, it's going to be tough sledding. You can have a great defense, but
Eagles have the wrong OC right now.
I mean, dude, look at Greg Roman with Lamar Jackson. Come on, bad coordinator with a quarterback that probably has the most amount of talent of anyone in the NFL. Like, has the highest ceiling by far.
Well, Greg had him at a MVP pace. He's good for if you're coming in and you're a bit raw. He will tailor it to capture your strengths. But when a team looks and sees deficiencies, as my cousin and I broke down, he said, "Hey, Junior, you ever notice he don't throw deep and outside the numbers?" And I said, man, he gonna be the MVP. What you mean? He said, trust me, somebody's gonna look and notice he don't throw deep and outside those numbers. Watch what I tell you. And man, Tennessee came to Baltimore. Baltimore was the number 1 seed with the MVP and everything going for him. We were supposed to meet him in Miami. And that night, Tennessee came and noticed he doesn't throw deep into the outside, or when he does, he was very, very inefficient. And they just said, go ahead and run, but we're going to cover this thing outside and deep, and you're going to throw to the middle of the field. They were sitting there watching that. That coach he used to be with the Patriots, Vrabel.
Yeah,
Vrabel knew what he was looking at.
Yep, old head out there.
So this is funny. Greg Roman was our coordinator, right? And a lot of Niner fans didn't like his style, even with Kaepernick being the mobile runner, right? But then he goes to you guys, and I've heard some people chirp a little bit, but he seems to have gotten your guys' running quarterback to perform. So is it?
I mean, he got him to perform, but he put him in too many bad positions to get hurt. Now, of course, most Lamar Jackson's injuries were like weird freak, like left tackle getting pushed back into him or something. But what I'm referring to is so many RPOs, so many plays where Lamar has to make 5 different reads all on himself that I felt like he was never able to get his eyes where they were supposed to be. He's not looking the look off, instead of him doing it freely, was designed into the play. But when it's designed into every play, a lot of people just ignore it. Like
fair. But Greg Roman, I thought, did an admirable job with Colin Kaepernick by covering some of his warts and highlighting what he does, and that got us to a Super Bowl. It did once he got in there.
But then
Greg Roman kind of formulated things to go towards what Colin Kaepernick did well.
But after there was a season of film on it, did his numbers not drop off?
No, yeah. I mean,
Giro's offense is kind of a gimmick offense. It works usually one time. Now, don't get me wrong, his running schemes are so well done. Like usually, like his ideas of pulling, blocking, like he is an innovator in that sense. But like Steve Smith called him out, I've seen high school teams with more complex passing schemes.
Oh yeah. It can't be about the passing scheme, but he'll get you running. If you can run, Greg Roman's your guy. But for longevity's sake and pure quarterbacking and anticipation, throwing with anticipation, throwing to the spot, and Yankee slide, different concepts. Nah, Greg and Steve.
Okay, I have a question, and I think you guys know I think you guys know this one. I'm gonna pitch it to. You have to have two questions, two answers, right? So who said it? What quarterback said, "If I get hurt, I'm gonna end up getting hurt in the pocket"?
That is
was it Michael Vick or was it Randall Cunningham?
Ooh,
pretty sure Lamar said it too.
I think it might have been Vic.
Vic?
Yeah, I think it was Vic.
That seems like a trick.
Yeah.
That seems like a trick question, Bryant.
I know, right?
I'm going with Cunningham.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with Randall.
I believe Vic said it, but I think Cunningham was the one that said it first. I believe he did get hurt in the pocket, and
he did get hurt in the pocket. Yeah, broke his ankle in the pocket. Because when he got y'all, if you like Lamar, if you like Vic, Randall Cunningham was the original. I can remember a SI with him saying Weapon X. There was a game against the vaunted New York Giants on Monday night. And they had warriors out there. LT on one side, Carl Banks on the other, Carsons. They were big up front. They had knocked Joe Montana out of the game, NFC Championship, maybe the year before or the year after. And man, Randall Cunningham scrambled around to the right side, and Carl gave him all he had and busted his thigh. And Randall just took it and smiled and threw a pinpoint accurate stick route right into the end zone for a touchdown. And Carl Banks just looked like, God, we don't know what to do with this guy. He also had an NFL record for punting one day. He punted in the vet, and the daggone thing rolled. He kicked it 50 yards, but the thing rolled another 40 or 45. I think it was something like a 90-yard punt. He has a 90-yard punt to his credit.
By the way, Lamar did say that as well earlier this season, August 2023. He was talking about on Bleacher Report. He was talking about people saying he's injury prone and he keeps getting hurt running. And his words, verbatim, Bleacher Report, August 2023. It didn't impact me. I didn't get hurt running the ball. As you can see, I was hurt in the pocket. But people going to be always have their own narratives. But I'm the one playing the game. So Lamar added on to that list.
Yeah, I like it. So, okay, we have Randall Cunningham, very, very elusive running quarterback, Mr. Philadelphia Special, right? The Fog Bowl. That's the game.
Oh.
If you haven't seen the highlights, folks, go on YouTube, type it in.
It was ridiculous.
It was thicker than soup. You could not see.
My dad and I watched it live, dude. It was like watching snow on your television. When your television goes off or the cable goes out. That's what it was like. It was like they need to just call this. Nobody can see anything. It was really, really ridiculous. In Soldier Field, that had to be in the
it's funny.
mid-80s.
I've dealt with fog like that a few times. Working at the airlines, I worked at one airport that was directly on the ocean. So whenever it would hit that weird time in the morning, fog would just roll in off the ocean. And so fun fact, small aircraft cannot take off in that fog. They have to delay. However, the larger like Delta, like the Airbuses, the bigger Boeings, they have instruments through infrared that allows them to see everything through that fog. So it was so like slightly terrifying because we would push back, this several 100-foot aircraft. And we would drive back less than 20 feet and it's gone.
Yes.
Like you don't ever see it. You never see it take off. Like it's slightly horrifying.
Yeah. You have to fly IFR, which is instrument flight rules when you're doing that. I was in Army Aviation, and for rotary wing aircraft, you just
Okay.
don't go out and actually
play
that
this one.
that took one of my heroes out, Mr. Kobe Bryant, and
Mm-hmm.
you're not supposed to fly in that stuff. You can't see, man.
Don't matter if you're
messes
got
everything
the qualifications. I'm gonna give y'all a horror fact. The old back in the day, like I'm talking like 80s, early 70s maybe. Back Spirit Airlines early days, they had a thing. They loved to hire old Navy pilots, and those old Navy pilots, we'd look and be like, "Hey, man," because we lived in Myrtle Beach where the golf, was kicking. We had golf clubs. We used to have to hire private trucks to like haul golf bags from other airports to Myrtle Beach because we were so overloaded on our flights with golf bags. Like it was nuts. But them Spirit pilots would literally be like, "Nah, just keep loading." And we're like, it's over the weight limit. Nah, I got it. And it's because we have an old Air Force runway, but man, they would take the entire runway to get off. Like terrifying. Back before they cracked down on all the guidelines with the FAA. So
Yeah,
thank your FAA.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I love it. So again, we have some quarterbacks that's been mobile and they've been really, electrifying in the league. And my favorite, and I think a lot of people here, and it's not really an argument. You can argue it you want, but I would say Steve Young, hands down, is the best running mobile quarterback that's played. That's my opinion. Okay. There you can say Roger Staubach. He was very good. You can go back and you can pull out but we'll just go from Steve Young. I'm going to say Steve Young. I'm going to say Cunningham, Cordell Stewart. We'll throw in Lamar Jackson and Kaepernick. So if you guys got those guys, how would you rate them? I got to say Steve's first. Cordell / he's got his didn't he go to the Super Bowl too?
He
against
did,
Dallas,
but Neil
right?
O'Donnell was the starter, but he
Right.
had the ability to go.
Yeah, he was like the Jason Taste the type Jason, what is it?
Down in New Orleans.
Yeah. Taysom Hill.
Yeah, Taysom Hill.
So Cunningham was a really good quarterback. And Michael Vick. So if you guys have a running quarterback, who would you want to start? We'll keep Kaepernick and Lamar out for a little bit, but we'll just go back to those. We'll start with David. David, who would you like? If you could pick, are you taking Slash? Are you taking Cunningham? Are you taking McNair? If I didn't list the quarterback that's mobile and you want to throw one out there so we have a fun little conversation for a minute, who is a mobile quarterback that you liked? You can't say Kaepernick and you can't say Lamar. You can't.
Steve Young.
All right, that's an easy one, but you gotta give us a different one.
Well, quarterbacks used to be statues back in the day, and a lot of people, like a guy that you should watch some game tape on is Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, okay.
He did take a lot of headshots. He's a great guy, but back in the day, that game was totally different. It was very brutal back in the 70s.
Oh, good Lord!
Didn't somebody pick him up and dip him on his
Turkey Jones? His name was Turkey Jones. Cleveland Browns. If you can just pull it up real quick, he would have been thrown out of the league for what he did to Terry Bradshaw one 1974 day. Please, if y'all go to Google and look up Turkey Jones, Terry Bradshaw, and they run it a few times. This is totally out of line nowadays. This was Draymond Green if you just let all fouls go. This is illegal in wrestling. Turkey Jones, Terry Bradshaw. I know it's there. I just showed somebody in about 3 weeks ago.
That's hilarious.
That is
And
funny.
I gotta say this. You know what? I'll just say that later because it's off topic.
I'd show it, but I don't want to get anyone. I don't want some YouTube channel to get
Here you go,
contacted.
here you go. Brian got it. Look,
Brian's
look, watch this,
showing
watch this, watch this.
Oh,
Oh, that's what I used to do to people in fights.
Yeah,
I tell
That
people
was
nothing
old school,
hurts
folks.
more than a slam.
that's
Man.
how it used to be, yo.
Yup. Actually, we watched that happen. Oh, what was it recently? Oh God, it started a whole brawl on the field. Was it the Bengals game? No. Oh my God, that literally just happened, and it started a whole brawl. No, it was y'all. Fred Warner.
Yeah, but
didn't he?
but it was little Devontae Smith, a receiver. That was a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I think the whistle had blown when he made contact, and Turkey Jones still went in after him, man. Turkey Jones was
I tell you,
crazy.
let me teach you all young kids one thing. You know what freaks that guy out when he throws you like that more than anything? When you get up, just stare at him and start laughing.
You
I've
see
had that happen
Terry
to me in
do.
football, and I didn't start trying to fight him. I just got in his face, and I was just smiling and laughing. Went right
Terry
back to the
wasn't
huddle.
in no position.
that's my security guard. That's my security guard, Big Dom. Let's go.
Big Dom.
And
Is he still on the payroll there?
For real.
Yeah.
Salt in the-
Squishy?
Just can't be on the sideline, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't think that was all that bad. Like, maybe there were some words exchanged that we didn't hear.
He's called security
Well,
from the
you
booth
gotta
for the
go back.
rest of the season.
Yep. But hey, I'm gonna tell you
And
this:
gotta,
as someone that worked in
go back.
security,
You gotta understand. Sorry, you gotta understand.
No.
He's been with the Eagles for 25 years. He's supposed to be in charge of security, and he also does psychological work, psychology work with the players.
profiles.
So they come and talk
basically.
to him. So you are supposed to be calm, cool, and collect, and you were not. In 25
And-
years, how many times have you exploded on the sidelines? This time you got caught with the camera, and you made yourself. You're not supposed to touch. It's like you can see,
Mhm.
you can look, but you can't touch. You can use your mouth, but when you start saying something, you got to
Yeah.
understand there could be confrontation. And we talked about it, and Spongy and all of us, we talked, and I was at the conclusion and saying, hey, he needs to be removed from the sidelines. He just stepped the line. I don't want to see him fired, but he needs to.
I want to
something-
reinforce your opinion too. As someone that worked in security, the number one rule they tell you, even no matter how big you are, words are always your best option. Words,
And I feel-
talk the man out first. That's always your best option.
And
Hands
I
are
don't know-
always last.
It also happened in the Seahawks versus the Eagles game, and I haven't heard anything about it. Like nobody's talking about
wow.
it. Absolutely nobody. So I'm trying to figure it out
I call
if
that.
the guy is gonna get suspended or not when he shouldered AJ Brown on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
He purposely did that. You could tell. The guy saw where he was going. Guy definitely saw where he was going, and he just moved over.
I've
If
seen
the
a few things on the sidelines this season that have been a little sus, to be honest with you.
I mean, if the player, especially that right after the week that the Dom DeSandre things happened.
And then we got the soft penalty on Mahomes, I think, where he was running out of bounds but was still in bounds and just took a little shoulder, and they threw a 15-yard penalty, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
It's Mahomes. What are they gonna do?
Meanwhile, Lamar got tackled by his knee, clearly out of bounds, and then the Bengals player tried twisting his leg, and no flag. And that I don't know if y'all remember that play. I was live. Patrick McCary, our left tackle, ran the entire across the field to the Bengals sideline or Brown sideline. It was one of the two. Literally, not only started beef with that player, started throwing hands with the entire team, then pushed the ref. Still no flags thrown. But I was so happy. I was like, that's my lineman right there. He's ready to fight the entire sideline because he saw what just happened to Lamar. That's
No,
the
but
fire I like.
I think
Sorry.
what they got to do, if it's gonna get to this point where things are gonna happen on the sideline,
Yeah, they
Do
might
they
have to
need
push
security?
it back.
do they need security guards protecting the security guards?
Who was it? The coach that had the infamous guy that just kept him back? Was that the Rams?
No, they need security guards to do their job.
The strength and conditioning coach, and he constantly held the head coach back. It was the Lions, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh! Hold on, I gotta find that now. Y'all will find that hilarious.
I also just think, I think what they got to do, they got to reinforce it in the off season. Because the only situation that has been brought to light is the Dino Sanders situation because it was big game, primetime game. But they haven't looked at the Seattle Seahawks situation, which is irking me.
Come on, Brian. Brian, I saw you drop that Ron Mexico in there, man. Come on, man. Leave my man alone. That we ain't supposed to say nothing about that.
Okay. If you guys don't know, it's happening. I like
Nobody else caught it, but I caught that Ron
real quick.
Mexico deal. Leave that alone, man.
Real quick, I'll give it to you here, Levi. See if you want to share screen. Ron Mexico is Michael Vick's alias. It was his alternate name. He uses it when he's out at the club. Hey, my name's not Mike. I'm Ron Mexico, right? So if you want to go and personalize a Atlanta Falcon, I don't know if it is an extended to the Eagles. If you want a number 7 Atlanta Falcon jersey that says Ron Mexico, you will not get it. You will have to go somewhere else to get it. You cannot get it from the NFL.com because it's a banned name. It's banned because he used that name in a court, in a courtroom, and it's just you can't use it. So that you can't.
I've got a YouTube shop now where I can design T-shirts.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Brian, that's what I don't understand with like band names in any sport. What if a player with that last name comes into the league? What are they going to do? Change it?
Well, you have to understand what number, what jersey, what is exactly. So you have to read the lines, and you have to understand. So if there was a person that is Ron Mexico that comes in, they're probably going to look at him and say, "You're being drafted by Atlanta." You might not want to use the number 7. We might suggest you use a different number.
Not a 7 in Atlanta.
Yeah, they're probably not going to want to do that. You can't use you guys know about the dog scandal and stuff like that, so you can't get anything on the back of your jersey that's says anything about dogs and it has Atlanta in the number 7 jersey. Those are things that are banned. You can't get cuss words on the back of a jersey if you go through the NFL.com. So just fun fact. But go ahead, Levi. Do you need me to do anything on mine?
I queued up a video. The thing I was referencing, Sean McVay. This is a 4-year-old video. Basically had a coach dedicated to just getting back, like holding him back off the sideline.
A position coach or even Sean McVay. Now, I literally have to spend most of my time while the offense is on the field.
Oh, he's the get back coach. Yeah.
Ripping them out of the way.
Everybody has a get back coach.
Get back coach.
It's a get back coach. It's a position. Every NFL, college, even high school teams have a get back guy. You got to get them back. Everybody messes up. And you see that yellow line? Everybody's supposed to be behind that yellow line. But you need to get back coach to keep them out. The referee will give you a warning and say, hey, coach, get them back. And then the get back coach got to come and tell you, get back, everybody, get back. That second warning, y'all are illegal. You're on the field, and it's a penalty. So you need that get back coach, and you need him to do his job. This one may be a little overzealous, and they gave him a little highlight because it was a slow news day for whatever reason. And I think it was Hard Knocks, but everybody has a get back coach. He's a coach, and he gets everybody back. Get back, y'all. Get back. Get back.
I thought y'all would get a little kick out of that. So Sean McVay, his get back coach, and I think the Detroit Lions is their strength and conditioning coach. So he is just jacked, man. He looks like he could suplex anyone on the field. He's definitely
He's a get back guy.
I know. I gotta get some.
No, but we're talking about like coaches and stuff. And earlier you guys brought up, you have to have the right OC. So supposedly, this is just a rumor. I don't know. I forget what source it was from, but it was from somebody. But the Eagles are looking in to contact Frank Reich to be the OC next year.
Oh no, I got no faith in Wright. I definitely understand y'all are missing Shane Steichen. I think we were talking about quarterbacks too, but just because I had my but I like Shane Steichen. I really wanted him actually in Baltimore, to be honest with you. But I'm pretty happy with Todd Monken. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of Frank Wright. Like, I know he didn't get his fair shots.
I just don't
Okay,
know what
Coach,
this team is gonna do.
Okay, folks, we will. We're going to talk a little about quarterbacks, but we'll move to a different subject. That was getting a little. We'll come back at some other time and visit that. But our last question before we all leave, and we'll start from my what would you say? It's my left, your right, maybe. I'm looking at my right. We're going to go to Spongy, and we'll only talk about the NFC, and we'll give Levi the AFC. So. Right now, looking at the playoff picture, it's not set in stone or anything like that. We've seen the Packers fall out. We've seen the Vikings drop down. The Rams have moved into the number 6 spot. The Seahawks have an opportunity to get into the playoffs as well. We can see the Packers come back in. So we still have 3 more games. Little Sponge, in your opinion, we already know the Niners, Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Lions are more than likely going to make the playoffs. We don't care about the Saints or the Falcons, but again, you can refer to them. In your opinion, who is a dark horse team that could be that Cinderella team? You can't say Niners, you can't say Cowboys, you can't say Eagles. Those other teams that have a possibility of making the playoffs. Who do you think could have a Cinderella story?
I mean, definitely if you're talking NFC.
Yes, only NFC.
Man, I gotta say, probably Green Bay.
Okay.
Or if Seattle makes it, most likely Seattle. But they're a good team already, so. But they're not like top tier.
Yes, Seattle is sneaky good. I could see that. Yeah, I don't want to see it, but I could see it. Shout out to Joe Stephen. All right, Mr. McNiner, same question. Who is a dark horse football team on the NFC side that could make a Cinderella story run?
I'm honestly looking at the Rams.
That's what I'm thinking.
The team I love to hate. Yeah, folks, the team I love to hate. Right now, they're playing hard. They're kind of hot. But at the same time, once you hit the playoffs, it's a whole new level, right? And week 18, we still don't know what's going to happen. There are 3 games left. If we went out, we might not need that. They might be going against our backups if we went out, right? If we don't, and we absolutely need this game, we will be playing our starters. And could be sending the Rams home, but it's just all yet to be seen. We'll see what happens. If they do win that game, and if we don't win that game and they need it, it would be the first time they beat us in the regular season since 2018.
I'm hoping for that. Let's go.
Honestly, I like that. I like that respect for the Rams. Those young rookies have been slowly coming on, and McVay's got a deep bag of tricks.
Yep.
Puka, man. Puka.
All right, we will jump to you then, Levi. And then we'll go to Terradome. AFC, you are the only one who can answer for the AFC. You kind of have an idea of who your playoff picture is, but there's really a big ball of worms there, right? It's just still really knotted up pretty bad.
You know what's crazy fact? On the AFC side, there's actually only one team that has legitimately 100% clinched a playoff spot, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. On the NFC side, Niners, Cowboy, Eagles are the only locks currently that have actually clinched. So the AFC is wide open right now. Like it's the Wild West out here. As for those
Yeah,
Cinderella teams, you know, I gotta keep it in the North. The Browns and Bengals. Joe Flacco, Joe Cool trying to, you know, become playoff Joe again. And the Bengals, surprisingly, with Browning. How can you not call that a Cinderella story? Both 8-6, 9-5, holding the 5th and 6th seeds respectively right now. So AFC North, if we don't win this game against y'all, Browns could take the North from us technically.
I like it. I really like it. I can see it. I can see it. Pterodome, your thoughts? NFC, who's a Cinderella story, a dark horse team that you're not afraid to play in the playoffs, but you could see making it and even potentially being that X factor.
You're muted, my guy.
I'm going to go with my reasonable deduction, given coach, pedigree, quarterback, and overall hotness of a team. Pause. You kind of got to go with the Rams because you got a Super Bowl quarterback in Matt Stafford, a Super Bowl winner at coach being McVay. Aaron Donald is still there. You know,
Toby Turner from Wake Forest is doing his best Aaron Donald impression, as well.
There you go, and they got a little bit of mojo going. They beat the Browns 36-19 back on December 3rd. They went up to Baltimore. In Baltimore, gave them all they could and went to overtime with them. Very good team. They beat the Commanders. They handled business by 8, and then they handled business. It was Thursday night, and the rest of the schedule is the Giants, and they're going to play us the last game, January 7th. And given the fact that we may have, we may go with, you know, a little lighter load there because we're going to have it all clinched. You kind of gonna let the Rams in. The wild card being is, you know, my man don't like to lose against the Rams at all. Kyle Shanahan don't let them have anything, so that might throw him off. Looking at the Packers schedule, they do have the Panthers coming up tomorrow at 1, and that's a win. And I think they do pretty decent against the cousinless Vikings. And then they got the Bears the last game, so they could backdoor
Minnesota game,
but they don't have that Super Bowl pedigree.
So, they might win out, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they'll win out, but they don't have the pedigree that the Rams have. So
the thing is with the Rams, I've told you a stat line. I'm sorry, and we'll give it again, but 34 rookies on that 90-man roster coming into training camp, basically. That is insane. And the real beauty of this is, you know, there's always a learning curve for rookies, but so many of these rookies are seeing so many snaps, and it is basically increasing their rate of which they're learning, because usually they would never get these many snaps. And that's why these Rams are really starting to kind of really build now. It's something to keep an eye on. You know, McVay did something that a lot of NFL GMs this season thought was impossible. You know, everyone knows once you do that, you know, over the cap move for the Super Bowl, which they did, and they got one, your next year, you're so cap deficient, you know, that's what you have to do. And usually you expect a throwaway season. And McVay has, I mean, like we talked about, Kyren Williams, Kupp, and Nacua, when all three are on the field, they're averaging 6.9 yards per play when we played them.
Okay. Yeah. Man, guys, thank you guys so much for coming. It's always fun. It really, truly is. We, you know, as season goes on, you know, and we get out of football, we might be able to go a little longer and, you know, drag shows out a little longer but, you know, it is getting to the time for Christmas. It is last minute Christmas shopping. If you haven't got those errands done, I actually am going to probably be going to the store to get some groceries. You know, I'm going to be dropping a turkey Christmas Day. And I got a turkey fryer. I like to drop turkeys. And so that's what I'll be doing this weekend. Tomorrow we will be going live. I'll drop the link again. You guys want to jump on? Me and David, we suit up. We put our neckties on. We put our best jackets on. Come in with our Mel Kiper analyst, and we have a good time with it. Right? So you guys are all welcome to be there. Come on back. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate y'all. Little Spongy, thank you for coming. David McNiner, thank you for coming. Levi and Pterodome, all of the links and descriptions will be there. Is anybody doing anything that they want to highlight for today? And before I give it away, please tune in later to Tony Culp and the ladies of the Empire, the ladies at the Niners, the girls, the gals, they are great. The girls are back together tonight. It's ladies' night. We'll be on at 5 p.m. California time. So please tune in, and I will see you there in the chat. But does anybody else have anything? And I'm going to throw it to David, and then Levi, Pterodome, Sponge, you'll finish it. Anything you want to highlight for today that no one knows about, or anything special you're doing in your channel? Mr. McNiner.
Well, I don't think there's anything special going on in my town. It's Christmas. Everyone's going to be celebrating with their families, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Everyone in the chat, everyone in the panel, everyone. Merry Christmas, folks.
Merry Christmas.
We almost made it through 2023. We're pretty close.
We ain't done yet. Levi, what do you got going on for the day, and anything on your channel that we should be looking forward to? You got a play-by-play today or tomorrow? Do we have any Saturday games? I don't think so.
I think there actually is 2 Saturday games today. I'm not calling them though. I think Bengals might be playing today.
I need to send my picks in, David.
I think Bashar hit me up late last night after our show, 49ers minus. So I think I actually have another preview show with him. If y'all don't know, I've been just bouncing between shows this week. I had to hit my boy Joe Steve and say, dude, you don't understand. There's not been a moment I haven't been live or making one of my own videos for the past week. But so we got a show with him, I think 6 p.m. Eastern time today. Of course, we expanded our play calling. So not only are we going to be calling Ravens 49ers on Monday Night Football live, but of course, we're going to be calling another game. I did have it scheduled, I think, for Dolphins Cowboys, but I might change it up to a 1:00 slot game. I'm a little unsure, but as always, we're trying to do a lot more here on Darwin's Raven. We appreciate you having us on here, Brian. It's always, I love coming on the show with y'all.
I really like it when you come on as well, and I want everybody to really go check your show out, like and subscribe, hang out for 10-15 minutes, see how your show goes. There's a lot of cool stuff that you're doing with your system. The giveaways, the games, the bets, the duels, that's all fun. I don't know what's going on, but it's fun. And
we're trying to get Brian on it.
It's really neat. But come on back. We're always here. You know how to get to us. And thank you again. And we will have the links later so people can go and check your show out. Pterodome, what you got going on today, buddy? Any work tonight?
I got to wrap a couple of gifts. That's what, and that takes me a little bit. I am not well versed in the gift wrapping business. I use up too much wrap and too much tape. But and they already know she already know what she's getting. She asked for it, but I gotta wrap this thing. So hey, y'all pray for me, amen. And I
got complimentary gift wrapping. If you can just drop off whatever gifts and they'll wrap it for you.
That's what I need. If I knew it needed to be wrapped, I would have told Amazon to, sit out there on the porch and do it before you leave. I'll tip you. That Cowboys Miami game is going to be very interesting. A couple of 10-4 teams. That could be the Pro Bowl pseudo.
My problem is this: when I looked at all the scheduled games left, I felt like I was covering the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Bills and the Dolphins way too much. And I was like, I'm trying to find some different variation.
It's good teams playing, man.
It is. It's really the only few good matchups. And then I'm thinking about calling Bills Dolphins week 18. which is probably going to be one.
Oh, that's
the-
huge.
Exactly. Like,
That's
so I don't want to
huge.
call the
That's a
Dolphins
division
again
game
now.
too.
Exactly.
Big game.
Like,
Yeah, they got to
Oh,
play
well,
starters.
We definitely have a lot going on. You guys just, stick around. The community is growing. It's always growing. There's always space. There's always room. Good vibes, good people. And, again, we got one more guy, Little Sponge. Do you want to tell everybody what you're asking for Christmas for? Are you looking for coal in your stocking? You looking for candy? Is there a video game? It's some playoff, some football game cards. What's got you excited about Christmas? And we're gonna end.
Hey man, hey, I'm just happy for the break.
All right, I like
you
it.
should
It
change
sounds
your
like you're
picture
a
to a
lot like my
Venmo
daughter.
of card packs, so people can send you card
does.
packs.
It does. It sounds like you're like the same mindset as my daughter. She's just so happy she don't have to go to school right now. So, hey, with that, folks, thank you all for coming. Mr. McNiner, will you send us out? And we are going to go enjoy the rest of the day. And everybody, hopefully, I'll see you back tomorrow in the morning, same time, same bat channel, same bat time. I'm Batman, and I'm Brian. You don't ever tell people your secret identity. I get so excited. I'm sorry. All right, David, send us out, buddy.
Well, as Corey Davis would always say, go Niners and F all 31 other teams.
He lives.